All right, we have James Walsh addition on 87 DeVoe Road. Bill Spade is on to speak about this.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hi.
Pardon me. Good to see you. I'll share my screen.
Yep.
You guys look at this?
No.
So you can see what's on my screen here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
So this property is 87 DeVoe Road, sort of top of the hill in the nice flat area of DeVoe Road. The property is right here where the blue dot is. I'll show you the site plan here. So this is a 1 acre property, existing home that was originally built in 1960, a 2-story colonial with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and we're a couple of items on it. One is to extend the rear of the house, and you see in the site plan this indication of all across the back of the house, a 10.5-foot addition on the rear left side and a 6.5-foot addition across the rest of it, and then also creating a new covered front porch on the house. We did have to get a couple of zoning variances for this, and so we've already achieved those back in November. So now we've been coming in for the building permit. We'll show you then the existing house. Here's the front. Fairly standard 2-story colonial, save for a kind of odd looking bump out that was done with the original house. Don't know exactly why it was was left in the way it was, but it's an odd thing that we're trying to help improve with the front porch work we're going to do. Here's the view of the right side. Here's the view of the rear of the house, and this is where we're going to do the substantial enlargement all across the back of the house. We're going to take down the deck, extend the back of the house out on all levels, the basement, first floor and second floor, and then essentially rebuild the deck on the rear of the house further out. And I'll show you, this is the left side, has this nice sunroom on the side of the house. We're keeping that space and doing some improvements to it. We're going to be replacing the windows and the siding. Currently it's vinyl siding, so we're going to do new horizontal hardy plank or burrell siding, and as I mentioned, replacing the windows. I'll show you the floor plans here. This is the basement level. You can see the indication of the additions across the back of the house, and the sizes of the additions relate to the rooms on the first floor, but there will be a storage area at the basement level, and then enlarging a playroom and creating a couple of offices in the rear of the existing basement. The garage is on that level. Also then interior, creating a new mudroom space in the basement. Going to the first floor, enlarge this a little more. The primary parts of the addition work are to enlarge and create a better kitchen. So the 10.5-foot expansion of the first floor of the house is to create the new kitchen space, do a nice large island, new kitchen setup on the left wall, and then access out onto the new deck from the kitchen. Presently, there is no butler pantry or pantry cabinetry, so we're creating that on the right side here, and then creating a butler pantry setup to through to the dining room. The rest of the rear, we're going to extend a family room space, which is kind of a cozy small space at the moment, extending that to the rear, and then also creating a seating area at the rear of the living room. On the second floor, we're matching that same footprint for then enlarging on the left side, creating a larger rear bedroom, and then also primarily to create some closet space, better closet space in the middle of the second, in the middle between the existing two bedrooms on the left side of the house. Then also looking to enlarge and improve the two bathrooms, the hall bathroom and the primary bathroom in the middle. Also moving the laundry from the basement up to the second floor here, and then creating better walk-in closet space for the primary bedroom. The existing back wall of the bedroom remains in essentially the same space. There's two, narrow closets that are presently there, so creating two larger walk-in closets as part of that addition. By the way, I failed on the first floor to mention, then we're enlarging the front porch and putting a roof over it. And that shows on the plan here. Right now, the dashed lines here represent the extent of the existing landing. The 3 steps in front are existing steps. So we're enlarging the porch both to the left and to the right, and then putting a roof over it. So I'll show you that in the elevations now. Here's our roof plan, fairly simple in terms of how we're enlarging on the rear with a gable and a shed dormer. I'll go to the front elevation first, if I can get this to toggle down enough. No, I'll blow this up a little more. Sorry for the slow pace and the moving things around here. So here's the new front elevation. As I mentioned, we're creating the new covered porch. This bump out portion on the second floor is the existing bump out there, and we're essentially covering the bottom of that with this new roof and posts, putting railing around that raised porch. The existing landing and steps is essentially the same thing in the middle here. So adding the 2 pieces to either side and giving this nice French porch, which certainly helps complete the front elevation. The existing sunroom is the same space, same roof. We're replacing the windows, making the windows taller, and then adding triangular transoms for that existing sunroom. Otherwise, we're replacing all the windows, but in the same size that they are presently on the front elevation, save for there's a couple of octagon windows right now to either side of the front door. We're going to replace those with square awning windows. The other thing we're doing is the house has no overhangs at the moment. So we're going to extend overhangs on the both of this second floor gable as well as at each end of the roof to give that a more complete look in terms of the overhangs and character of the roof on the house. The right side elevation, presently there are no windows on the first floor. The 2 windows on the second floor are existing, so we're adding 2 new windows on the first floor to match the second floor windows. Then you see the red line here is the existing rear wall. The elements to the rear of that are the new addition, the 6.5-foot addition that comes all the way to the right elevation, and then beyond is the 10.5-foot addition for the back for the kitchen and bedrooms there. And then, as I mentioned, the existing deck we're going to take down and then essentially rebuild the same size of deck further to the rear, cable railing and wood posts for that deck. In terms of siding, I didn't mention on the front, but you see it more clearly here. New horizontal clapboard siding with either hardy plank or boral, and then the gables will get a vertical board and batten treatment in the gables. move down to the, this is the left side elevation, the existing sunroom. We're again putting larger windows in the essentially the same openings that are there. There's some existing gliding windows and a couple of fixed windows. So installing larger casement windows in that existing sunroom. The 10.5-foot addition is this element to the rear here. The existing gable roof at this end would remain with the extension of the roof overhang. The matching roof to the rear.
Well, no, I think it's just
The existing front roof.
expansion, and then he's putting, he's
You
already.
see
So
the,
he is moving.
the,
No,
the,
he's
the new
moving.
portico in the front.
No, it's not moving. It's coming out, actually, it's coming out.
Yeah, I know this is, but I'm trying to get this window.
Oh,
Is that window, can you go back to
Sure.
that left side? Are you moving that window on the top above the porch, the new porch?
The two,
There.
these two windows?
Yeah,
Yes, presently they're
You are
further
moving.
inboard
they're in, okay.
and we're moving them out. We're installing, closets in the middle here.
Okay,
And so to get those, the actual closet wall comes very near where this new middle window is. So that's sort of dictating the
you
location.
can't really move it so they're equal on.
Yeah, by the way,
roof.
right. There are some subtle differences in these plans versus these elevations versus the ones you have there. We continue to kind of tweak some things. So
Uh-huh.
that might be one
Is it
change
still
you're
lined up with
noticing.
the end windows or not?
What was that, sorry?
Oh, I see, yeah, they,
Are they not equal off the edge? of the-
no, the roof, but you're right, it aligns with
I
the
think,
window
yeah, I
below.
think they do.
Yeah,
So it's- okay,
aligning
those two
with this
windows, do they line
window
up?
below.
Yeah.
Yeah, they align.
I think in the plan you're looking at, they were
Something's-
further outboard and that looked odd. So we pulled them in. Again, the
Okay, anyway, gone.
rear elevation here. New double, these are all new windows. The seating area for the living room is behind these double windows. The family room is behind these double windows. This is all the kitchen, the 8-foot sliding door out onto the deck. The new extended rear bedroom is above. The little window to the left of the double is for the bathroom. And then just symmetrically matched up that little window with another window in this rear bedroom. And then the double windows, by the way, here are for the primary bathroom. Then again, the sunroom with the new triangular transom windows in the sunroom. The deck again has cable railing with wood posts, lattice panels underneath for screening under the deck. And then we have a sliding door we're doing out of the playroom area in the basement. And then this window on the left here is for an office space there. So that's the
Oh, I see
sum
the
total
front.
of
Can we see the front
presentation.
again? Bill?
I can't help myself, there's so much,
And did you want me to go to,
Oh, we're looking at it here.
Oh.
I was just looking at the
Can
front.
you put up the front elevation for a minute,
Yeah.
please? I mean, I can't help myself, so I'll start. I think it's a beautiful, it's a big ambitious project, and you're really reimagining, an old house and making it look modern, and it's great. And so my only question is, and you know me well enough, I can't help myself, on the grouped windows on the front elevation, where you have pairs of windows together, instead of putting shutters that are so inauthentic and just don't fit, did you think about beefing up trim, putting headers, keystones, different framing around? Is there some other technique you can use on the front windows instead of just pasting the old shutters back there?
didn't consider anything else. There's, as I mentioned, those are all existing openings. And that's pretty much the style of the front of the house at present. I would say
But are they new windows and new hardy plank and new everything on the front?
yeah, exactly.
So,
What in the same, obviously, in
yeah,
the
but if you
same
could
opening.
easily put different beefier trim or something around the windows before you put the hardy plank in. I mean, they're, we have the double windows and you have the shutters that look like earrings that don't fit in that proportion.
Yeah,
That, otherwise the house looks beautiful. You did a great job.
okay. And are you're thinking like a crown molding over the top of the head?
Well, I'm thinking, I'm always a believer that shutters should be proportional to the opening of the windows, right? That's the
Yeah.
purpose. So when you have a singleton window, it's fine, but when you have a double window, they look silly to authentic architecture. And I'm just wondering if you thought about either just taking them off, or if you want to emphasize the opening through some other technique around the window that you have plenty of room to do since you're reskinning the house.
I mean, you don't
Right.
have them anywhere else, so taking them out is not gonna be a surprise.
I mean, it's a way to fix a mistake on the house. I think putting those things on double windows
And
is a
you'll
mistake.
feel a little bit more modern the way the back does, I feel.
Yeah, the other elevations are beautiful.
Well, thank you. Maybe I'll just pop back up to the existing front of the house.
He's trying to, I mean, it's a way of fixing this. It is a successful fix. I'm sorry, Bill.
I was just gonna say, I don't know, I particularly like the character of the house, the way it is with the shutters. I know the owners are particularly fond of that. And to take those shutters off, I think would, reduce the, sort of character of the front. I don't know that adding crown molding to the top of the window openings would help that in any regard. I think it would,
I don't think he's suggesting that you do that
yeah,
to satisfy the board, just something else that's more authentic versus something that's completely inauthentic when you put a single shutter on a double window. But
yeah,
I understand
But
that
it-
the
I mean,
the family probably bought the house and fell in love with the front elevation, and I think you're
Yeah.
actually making the front elevation work a heck of a lot better by putting that porch on the front of the house. So
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine with.
I'm fine.
I'd also say, by the way, I'd also say, I think
Form.
I think the shutters help reduce the massiveness of the house. I think if you take the shutters off, you get just more appearance of wall and maybe more massiveness of the house. So I happen to think the shutters help kind of reduce the massiveness of the front wall, give it a little more texture and detail to it.
Like I'm always an
I'm fine
objector
with
to the inauthenticness of a double window with shutters that are just decoration, they're not shutters. So, but I want.
Even full-size ones are never used.
No, but they're
Yeah,
proportional.
exactly.
What? They're never,
Yeah.
they're never used.
Proportional.
I know, but they're never used.
Right,
They're still decorative. But
it's a nice house. We did a nice job.
I think, yeah, it looks great.
I think you're
Bill,
good.
Okay,
You're approved. Bill.
you're approved.
thank you. I appreciate the, I appreciate the debate about those kinds of things. Okay,
You don't have to say that, it's okay.
Just not on my house.
Thank you.
well, thank you very much. All right, have a good evening. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Bill.
Good night.
Okay, we have,
I'm surprised you're okay with it. You're so, even in your field of portions of letters and logos and
I'm
things.
okay, especially when I.
15 Deerfield.
I think if you do that one, just the front of
Hey, this is a lot of money, but it's a huge job, and the front isn't changing much compared to the other elevations, which are drastic improvements. Even better. You can say so.
No, it's not.
Okay, who's next?
15 Deerfield. Mr. Fritz?
So Hi, I'm Mike Peskin. I'm the homeowner. Unfortunately, Mr. Fritz had a personal matter that came up. He asked me to join. I've been working with him on this for quite some time, so I think I'll be able to describe to the board what is proposed. Should there be any follow-up with Mr. Fritz, we can talk about that after. But our project, as far as exterior wise,
Okay, yeah, Lawrence wants, okay. I'm just
It's
trying to
really,
figure out where Deerfield is before we.
Deerfield, if you run up 7 bridges across Lawrence
Oh,
Arms
okay,
Crossway,
I got it, yeah, I knew
to
I
Sunset.
had it in my head somewhere, okay.
it's a dead end road
Yeah,
over there,
I know exactly. Okay.
and we're just where it starts curving to the cul-de-sac. So really, what this is about is we are trying to do a kitchen renovation. The house is a traditional colonial. It's actually, I'd say, a longer colonial. Because of that, a lot of the rooms are just kind of very long and narrow. So we'd like to enlarge the kitchen to really square it off a little bit. And to square it off, to do it properly, we tried many different things, but to do it properly, we like to add about 6 feet to the back of the kitchen. So we're proposing an addition about 6 feet, and then running the full length of the kitchen, which is 27 feet, off the back of the house. Currently, we have a deck there, which is also showing age, so I think it's probably time to change some of the decking as well. So I think it's a good time to do both. And then Mark came up with a nice design to kind of, incorporate both into something a little bit fresh, new, modern, and kind of get everything in one. So the extension itself, like I said, it's 6 feet by 27 feet. We are basically proposing to change the deck to more of a 3-tiered system now. Currently, off the back of my house, it's a 2-tiered system. Basically, you can walk out the current kitchen or the current family room, and it's just a one large square deck that goes down, has steps down to the lower level deck where the basement door is. But now, because of the bump out, we're proposing to push the deck out in that section a little bit further, and then creating this kind of 3-tiered system. So as far
Do you
as
have the plans on your computer?
I'm looking at them
Can you
on a
share your
Because we
computer.
screen?
don't have, can you share the screen? Because we only have the back elevation, we don't have side elevation.
There is no
Unless-
side elevation because there's nothing on the side of the house.
Well,
The extension.
the extension, the
Has-
side of the extension. It's a 6-foot extension, so we need to see what the sides look like.
Do you not have A4?
Yeah, but A4 just has a rear elevation, a facade elevation, and has a section through it doesn't have an elevation to see what the sides of the extension look like.
This is all Mark has prepared. You mean like the sides of the house, or just the size of the physical extension on the 6 feet, you're saying?
Well, the general requirement of the ARB is that you need to draw 4 sides of the house. Now, I don't think we need the front because you're not doing anything on the front and we can see photographs nicely. But there needs to be a side elevation so we can see the side of your extension. Is it blank walls? Is there windows? What material is it? How does it look and how does it fit?
The extension is just, well, on the side of it, it's nothing. It's just siding.
Yeah, I don't know that until you told me that.
But we kind of need to see that to see how it
You know,
looks with that.
You know,
I mean, because we need every angle.
this is like our contract with the town, your contract with the town, and we don't have anything to be able, if you put something different there, we wouldn't be able to compare it because we don't have a drawing of what you do.
Okay.
Do you have the layout?
And are you doing new railings? Is there new railings on the,
Yeah, so proposing new railings.
is it
So
guardrails? What material is it?
railing
Is it
system.
wood? Is it wire? What is it?
It's a wood cap metal
Cable.
post. cable with a wood cap, correct, wood cap metal post
You
as,
just say cable, you just look at it.
I'm looking at the drawing and it looks
Yeah,
like
but there's no notes that say what it is, you know, there's.
What do you mean?
There's just lines drawn, I'm guessing.
No,
it's cable.
it says cable rail system on it.
Yeah. I miss
It
it?
says, it says cable, I'm looking at cable rail system.
Oh, this note up here.
Oh,
this-
yeah. Can you see the, there's nothing. Yeah, we need to see it.
Did you give any thought to putting some kind of a window on the side there to get more light into the kitchen and to have a more attractive exterior?
On the, for the extension, on either side of that is a refrigerator and cabinet, so no, we can't have any windows there, or refrigerator and oven on either side of that extension.
Well, the refrigerator is not really on the extension, but are you doing cabinetry on the interior? It doesn't, we can't tell from the plan.
Correct, it's cabinetry
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
around the interior.
That doesn't look like, this looks like it could be designed as a tile.
No.
Cabinetry
This is
and wall
all
ovens
we
all around.
That's on the deck, obviously. We need to kind of see how the deck's gonna work with the back and side.
All right, so I guess it's suggested that you come back with some more views for the next meeting to show the board the side views of this place.
The side views will simply just be, as I said, inside, there's just cabinets and a refrigerator and or an oven. Is there anything else?
They're looking for the exterior views, not the interior.
You want elevations of the terrace better, of the deck better? Is this
Should
acceptable?
we have it?
You're the board.
Yeah, I think we should.
So even elevations of, you know, of the deck, what the deck looks like from the sides as well as from the front and, you know, notes, putting, you know, notes on it. of
This is all
what-
customary though, so we're not asking you anything that we haven't expected from other
Sure, I
applicants,
mean,
so.
I would understand, I think Mark does a lot of work for the town, I would think he would.
He would have known.
Known.
He should have known.
This is clearly my first,
No,
my first
No, I mean,
board
I don't-
meeting.
I'm not familiar with Mark, so I don't, if he's done work in the
Good
town,
sense.
I've been
Yeah.
on the IB for 20 years, so.
Okay. All right, I will report back to Mark. So again, I'd like to just understand, so you're just looking for different angles of this outside of the
Elevation.
addition.
We want
But
side,
also, for instance, where's the picture of the back?
well, let's start with one. If you tell Mark that the board asked for side elevations of both sides of the house, that's the house, not just the little piece of the extension, but the side elevation of the house that shows also the bump out coming from the extension. He'll understand that. And
Also,
it's very simple for him to
what kind
do.
of, so, also, he didn't indicate the kind of windows that are on the existing part of the house. And we want to be able to understand the windows in the new addition, are they gonna be the same? Are they gonna, you know, because right now you have double hung windows,
There, this-
8/8. So what are you having on the addition? All those kind of details we'll need to know.
It looks like it's an awning window. Is it an awning window that pushes out?
Currently, there's an awning window there. It's not an awning window, the new, like, currently I have a window that comes out, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 feet.
Looks
And
like a
the-
little bay, yeah.
Yeah, a little bay window.
So the new ones, you know, are there any buttons on it? What's the frame material? Is it matching the rest of the house?
I can tell you they are matching the rest of the house.
If
They're
you could put
Anderson
a
windows.
note, you can just put a
They
note
need
to
to
match.
be, they just need to be indicated here, so they're kind of incomplete drawings.
This is, no, that's the, right? What's this, is this? It looks like there's wide sliding glass doors
Instead of a
to the
window.
right of the bump out when you look at the back. Is that changing? Because now it looks like there's
Windows.
either 3 or different French doors with
Yeah,
another
so
window. Looks different.
so currently I have two French doors that are like almost next to each other.
Oh,
The one furthest to the right when you're looking at it is staying as is, the same exact door, and the other one's coming out because that's where the bump out's going. So that'll be replaced by the two windows that are doing there.
Pretty much
those
this
look
one.
like windows.
Yeah, so to the right of your kitchen, it looks like in your photograph of the house, there's three elements. I don't know if they're French doors or windows or both. But when I look at the drawing, it looks like there's a very wide sliding glass door. Is something changing there?
Is that on the floor plan?
Yeah, so currently, as the kitchen sits,
I mean, for your family room, are you changing,
no, that's exactly,
the glass unit outside the family room to the deck?
it's saying exactly the same.
Right, the drawing doesn't match the photograph, so if you can put a note existing to remain, it's just confusing to us.
Well, the door on the picture on A4 is just, it's just there. It's drawn on the picture. I'm looking at.
It looks like three windows.
Okay, the drawing shows two elements. It looks graphically like a sliding door. It doesn't mean it is, but there's one line down the middle of a big opening. In the photograph, there's three distinct
What
openings
looks like
with
windows.
buttons.
They're not windows. It's just, those are sliding doors. It's basically a false door and that's two sliding doors you can open up. They're all doors.
All right, if you can just mention, Tim, that it looks
You
different.
just
and to
you
put a
just can't
note.
see it because I have some like deck furniture covering. covering the
Yeah,
bottom
oh,
of it.
okay, I see.
There's some deck furniture covering.
So
Those aren't windows.
that's not changing at all, you're saying?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, what about here? This looks different than this.
So then the
Yeah.
second, if you keep on moving over to the second, that's coming away because that's where the new kitchen, that's where the extension will be. So that and the bay window. So if you run basically from the left side of the bay window all the way to the middle doors, that's where the extension will come out. And two new windows will be put there. Those will be the kind of the center windows, the centerpiece of the kitchen.
Is your breakfast room getting different windows?
Yeah, so if you go left of the bay window, currently that room right there with the small single window is actually a small home office, but that is going to be converted to the breakfast nook. And then we're adding the large triple window similar to the one all the way on the left.
So maybe a note to match existing, I mean, something, because we're guessing, you know, we're guessing with a drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, because normally we require the elevation to pretty much match, you know, to have all the details in it. And we're missing a lot of details here and the windows, so it's just hard for us to evaluate.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, we meet again in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
You'll be automatically on the agenda.
We'll be there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This must be a kitchen company. I mean, it's not basic, I think it's a kitchen company.
Okay. Next is Toll Brothers. There's two signs. These are going in front of the model buildings that are up, the first two units across from Lifetime.
They look really nice.
Across from.
Lifetime
Oh,
Food
oh,
Premise.
These temporary.
Temporary, yes.
Oh, they're temporary?
They're sales tools, yes.
Oh,
They match the other signs that have been put up, color, shape, size.
okay.
Is there anything else, like more material? No, not approved.
What are the materials?
What are the
I mean,
materials?
is this the same as everything?
It just matches everything else.
Which we approved.
Jason, would you like to speak a little about that?
I think you covered it. I mean, it matches everything that's out there already. It's the model signage for the community. It's the same national program that we have. for
Location
all
of signs?
170 communities across the country.
We have a photograph of what it's matching, I mean. They photograph if this is matching something, we have a photograph of what it's matching, I don't remember.
They're
That
in,
stuff was approved a year ago, probably.
right,
I mean, we've already
they're in
approved- we've already
place,
approved those
and this is
signs.
more of the same. We have the same and smaller scale for the parking signs that we approved about 6 months ago. And then we
Came in
approved
front of
other
the
site
architectural
signs that
review.
are,
All right, can we make a request that if you come back again, that you have a better package, because this, I mean, I don't remember.
okay.
I know, but
I don't.
if we approve
I
the
know,
others, that's
But,
fine.
but I don't know, maybe I was out that night, I just think it's good practice to have a better, a photograph of what you want it to look like.
Right. Jason, in the future, we'll just put more description of what materials there are
It's
this
just
is
a
being
little-
made out of.
Well, even here, it doesn't even say match, I mean, it is, no, even. I take
It's
too many
called
law
Chappaqua
classes.
Well,
Crossing.
knowing what you like, we can make that happen. It's a small ask.
Right, we submitted the full architecture package along with the signage package initially when James Fitzpatrick presented, about a year ago or so, probably more than a year ago.
We'll just pull,
But
we'll
that-
just pull that one out next time you
Yeah.
submit something. We'll have
Just
to
what
have the-
happens is sometimes we're not all here, sometimes we're at some meetings and,
I can't remember last week, I don't remember a year and a half ago, I think the models look terrific, by the way, but.
Thank you.
Okay.
We can just pull
But
the,
I don't think it's
original
good
stuff.
practice to be approving this, no,
I agree.
I'm sure if he had all the stuff, we'd say, oh, it was great, but.
This is Chappaqua Smiles at 91 Bedford.
Sorry, Tom, just to be clear, that's all set, I'm coming back in 2 weeks.
Something, but didn't we just see something there last week?
Yes, you did. That's what you did. Youth therapy. Now we're doing the dentist right next door.
Okay. I drove past it the other day, they all do look the same, all the signs that are up. We asked,
You, I think purposely did that.
well, we wanted it, but when we asked questions, the sign that we saw last time wasn't clear if it was matching, and nobody was sure, even the applicant wasn't sure that it was exactly the same as
who is this?
what was
Which,
there, but they do look exactly the same.
Right.
My name
you
is
had
Josh
on
from
time was the first
Sonorama
one.
over Millwood.
Then
Oh, hi.
youth therapy.
Hey,
is now
representing Chappaqua
Chappaqua
Smiles.
okay. Oh, Josh
That
Combs.
sounds right.
Yes.
I
No,
know
that's
you.
That's the diagram. Or the,
It's not there.
what's the?
So all the same materials as the other signs?
Correct. Yep. Same material. And we did end up getting a Benjamin Moore color code. That way we can make sure we're matching it to all the existing signage that's already there. Same style, V carved material.
So is that just routed? When you say V carve, is that just a routed? Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
And does this fit in the pediment? It looks, from the drawing, it looks like you're scratching up against a pediment, I trust it fits.
It does. Yes.
Right, I mean, couldn't force that in.
Not good
Yeah,
Photoshop,
yeah, Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I have bloody towns, they're not this nice to me. I get raked over the coals, but I'm just trying to be
That's
fair,
fine. Share the wealth.
I joke with people, I sit on the other side of the table at night. Okay, but the concept, if it matches everything else, then it's
Then we're
great,
good.
I think it
then we're fine
does.
with it.
I think it does. It
Yeah,
matches.
But again, if you were coming again, you really should blow this up. And you should show the dimensions, I mean, because this graphically, you just put a piece of tape here, is it gonna be scratching up against the wood? Yeah, you have the proportions, I mean,
Mhm.
you should show what it really is gonna look like. This is not what it's gonna look like.
Get a little bit more detailed with it.
Good
Okay,
evening,
so-
Alex here, son. Good evening, Alex here, Senator on Millwood. How are you?
Hi,
All right, we're not ready for you. I
Good,
think.
good.
One-
Can you
one
explain
moment.
what you mean by scratching, and can you give me a little bit
Sure.
more insight
no, it's
if you
just
want?
not, it's just slapped on.
There's a triangle here, there's a pediment, right?
There's dimensions
The,
within
the,
that.
the wood, the fascia is like angled, it's not just going underneath a horizontal
Correct.
line. And so when this is in here, it looks like the corners of the sign are kissing up against the fascia, the diagonal piecing, right? Which would not look good, it wouldn't even fit maybe. So it would be nice if something was blown up and we could see that there was a clearance and that it fit
I mean, for
properly.
instance, you can't see this, but on the youth therapy one, you can see that there is space between that pediment and the corners of that sign, which I'm assuming you guys did this sign as well.
Yeah, there's gonna be a spacing in there. The spacing
Okay.
has to be up.
Right, but you're telling me trust you, and that's not the business that we're in, so we'll approve this, it all looks nice that's up there now. But if you come back to us next time for anything, we'd ask you to give a little bit more detail and a little bit better presentation, more complete presentation.
One thing I will say though, don't you want to have a little bit more air around the sides, the right and the left of Chappaqua Smiles? So the C and the S?
You talking about like the verbiage on the sign itself?
Yeah, I think there should be a little bit more air. So if you made the Chappaqua Smiles, a little smaller, it just looks a little tight.
It also looks like these letters are tighter than these, I don't know if that's an optical illusion, because they're vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know,
Two
when
Ps
we
are
were originally
closer
doing
together,
the
and
design for that, we're
spacing
just
is
trying to
more equal.
maximize the space within the sign, making it, visually appealing and all that stuff. That way it can be, easily read while passing by, especially since.
No, I know, but I'm only talking a little, and the kerning is not great on this Chappaqua Smiles, if we're gonna, now that we're, really getting down to it. If you look at the kerning is not great. Especially between the PPA.
Right, the second P and the A has a lot of space, a lot of airspace, and the other letters are kissing up against each other.
So
Right.
typically with like kerning and anything along those lines, I think you guys actually mentioned it before, like the the vertical letters versus the angled, it is gonna appear a little bit different.
No, but I know, but you do that letter by letter. You don't just let it do it automatically. I know you can do it. You guys, I've done work with you guys. I know you can do it. All you have to do is move that P over a little. The
Okay.
second P.
Got it.
This E and the S.
And the E and the S are very tight too. So I would relook at the kerning.
Look at the U and the A are very nicely spaced, and look how tight these two are. We like the letters spaced proportionally equal to each other.
Well, this is all eyeballing. This is
Right, but
not
the
gonna be-
computer should do it right.
No, the computer doesn't do it right. This you have to go in by hand and do it.
All right.
The computer will not do it right.
All right, so can we ask you to pay extra attention to the spacing of letters to be proportional?
Yeah.
Do you want the applicant to come back in 2 weeks, or are we going to approve him tonight?
It should be fixed.
It should be fixed.
I mean, you don't want them to just send
I
it.
don't know.
This will only take us.
Can they send it in to you? Could you email
And
to
just
us and
email
we
it
can
to
give
us,
you
is
a
that
nod?
okay?
So we
If
don't
you'd
wait
like
2
to do
weeks?
that, we
We
can
could
do
do
that.
We don't want you guys to wait 2 weeks, but we would like it to be better. We know you can do better. So can you email in, something at
then
a
we'll
decent
look at it.
size and scale that's equal so we can see it, and then we'll just give a nod to the
And
building.
then, and then fix the kerning.
Yeah, so adjusting the get a better rendering for it and then also adjust the kerning between.
The
each
letter spacing, yeah.
Got it.
But it has to be eyeballed. It can't be a default of the computer.
Got it. Okay.
How
And,
does-
That's probably what
How
it
does
is.
how does that work with the router when you feed that in?
Well, you just give it artwork.
correct. Yep. It's so
No, it
the
just is
router's
artwork.
all digital.
It's not-
You just
Okay.
send the file in.
So
and
You
it's-
just have to give the
Got it.
file.
So if you do something manually to mess with
It's still the
With the
file. It's
letter,
whatever
you still send the file that you messed with. It won't like default back to the
Correct, yeah.
particular
No,
spacing or
no.
whatever.
No.
correct. It would be like a production
It's just
file.
doing
basically.
artwork. Doesn't-
Maybe I'm like old letter type or something. Or something.
Yeah, done by hand.
So
You want
just
this-
out of curiosity, emailing wise, who would I be emailing that final revised drawing?
Daisy?
To Daisy Hernandez.
Got it. Yep, I have her email.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright,
We'll
I
get you a quick turnaround if you can.
I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Next is
So wait, who's this other person that
this
chimed
is-
in?
Annabelle, 28 Kisco Park.
No, the guy on
He was with, I thought he was with them. He
He said
was,
something.
so get the get the people from.
There's a couple of.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, that's
Thank
the
you.
wrong one. Where is theirs?
yeah, but they're not, he's not signing on.
Or
True.
addition.
Signed, right?
Drawing?
Where do they have it?
There's only one sign.
Here's your packet. I will get the.
This is National Bank of North America, is that
No
right here?
problem.
What bank is it?
I've never heard of
Yeah, yeah.
that. Is this a new bank, National Bank of America?
Where is that bank, you know?
The bank, Bank of America is right here.
Oh, is that what
Oh,
they
no,
call
no,
it
it's
now,
the
National
official name.
Bank of North America?
We're doing
Oh, well.
28
Okay,
Disco Park
okay.
first. And
All right.
come on in.
Hi.
you know.
Sit over here.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
give you
over
these two
there.
and I'll slide
Okay.
over. Yeah, thanks. There you go.
You the homeowners?
What's that?
Are you the
28
owners?
Disco-
Oh, yes, we're the property owners, yes.
Sorry, the mouth.
No, that's okay.
No architect with you?
No, not today. Basically, I could kind of walk through what
Yeah.
we're doing. So we moved into the house a few months ago. In the back corner of the house, which is where the kitchen is, I think over the lifetime of the house,
Is it
or
right here?
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Over about 80, the
Right.
life of the house, it's been expanded.
Mhm.
And so there's kind of like this kink missing out of the house, and it creates kind of an awkward walk area and a small dining area. So it's about 40 square feet. So our hope was that we would just bump out that corner, match it with the existing walls and roof line, just square it off basically.
Is
And
this a 90-degree angle here, or is this just an
Yes.
optical?
yeah,
This is
no,
an
it's a,
This
optical.
one here? This one?
Yeah,
yeah, where I highlighted in red there, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just,
Exactly, so that's all we're looking to just
Yep.
square that piece off.
okay, that I,
Sorry.
It's okay.
So you're filling this in and.
And then we'll just raise that one roof line, so it matches the existing roof line. It's like 2 feet higher, or it's just really the same starting height at a different angle.
Just draws cuts of the house. Doesn't draw the house.
it's clear on the application that we like to see 4 elevations.
That doesn't say it's mandatory on the application.
It should say.
It should
We
say that.
Yeah, we should choose it.
It's very hard to interpret.
So is this elevation, I guess, and this is this elevation?
So wait, which,
Yeah, this, yeah,
Oh,
so
this is
it's not your
proposed.
fault, but your architect is supposed to
not.
draw like all 4 sides of the house instead of just, vignettes of the house. because
and also to your benefit, you
Yeah.
will see what it looks like in its entirety as opposed to just a split. you know?
Right, yeah. No, I think maybe just because we're just addressing that one corner, but
Yeah, but that's,
yeah,
It's good for you and it's generally a requirement for us, just
got it.
if you come back with another expansion in a couple of years.
Okay.
wait, I'm sorry, so what are we looking at?
So they're filling in the
Yeah,
back
I
corner
got
of the
that, I
house.
got that, so.
This elevation is looking this way at
Okay.
this 3-part window,
Okay,
and this is
is
looking
looking
here
to the
with it's
side,
a blank
which we
space.
have, do we have a picture
So there
of that
is-
side? Oh, here,
And
So we have
what
one.
also might be throwing you
yeah,
off
okay, from that side, yeah.
slightly is we were going to
And
slightly
then what's
modify the
happening
windows,
with the roof?
so that might be throwing you off slightly as
So
well.
where's the,
So what's happening
is
with
this
the?
new, is this 3 window,
Yes,
triple
that's
windows, that's
That's
new?
new.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so
replacing
you-
a single
Do we
window.
have another
And-
elevation?
No, that's it.
No, so we don't know what
And the
this.
proposed right side, which is, I guess this side with the chimney,
Correct.
Yeah, but what's
so,
happening with it?
so it looks like there's one window,
No, it's this side.
no, this is.
Oh, no,
Here. There's an existing window,
So on the right side, the window that's on the
why,
right,
you wanna.
Yeah, I
point
can
it
kind
out
of
to-
walk
yeah,
you
I
through
can do
it.
that.
let's open the big one.
Cause I don't know what's going on with the roof.
True.
What?
Hang
I
on,
can't
stand
tell,
there.
I can't tell at all.
I think you said they're gonna match this,
This, the
This-
picture,
the high-
which one? The
yeah, the
higher one?
higher one.
Mhm.
right,
This is the,
So that
section
roof's
that
coming
there's-
off?
yes, this
So
roof
we
is
have
gonna
a-
come off and they're gonna match. that
Okay, so
existing-
this is existing. This is how it looks today from the side,
So
and then,
Well, Wait, from what's?
This is how it
oh.
looks today. Oh, this is this.
Yeah, they're the same.
All right.
So what we're,
Oh, it looks like this way.
yeah, it's just-
So, this is how it looks, this is what's coming out, and then there's this, the new one. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the photograph.
sorry.
It's okay, they're just cheap readers.
So what we're doing is, we were looking to take out this
Taking out two windows.
2 windows and adding 2 windows on the other side where we get more sunlight and doesn't face the road because we get a lot of.
Okay, so but there's 1, 2, 3, and now there's one.
Only one.
Yeah, how come you're not, I mean, it's even practical, how come on this wall that you're not, where's the plan, where's the plan go? There it is. You're boxing this is what you're filling in, right?
Correct.
And you're gonna have a triple window here,
Mhm.
and why aren't you having any window here?
Because right now, well,
Why don't you
Right now-
want
Well,
one?
no,
I
he's
mean,
taking this one out and not putting one here.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah, because we're still keeping one at the bottom, but what happens now is
Yeah, I know.
that that's adjacent to a street and the street is higher elevation than our property, so we get headlights like at us all day through that window, so we end up keeping it, you know, the blinds shut and the curtains shut all
Mhm.
day.
And those 3 windows in the back, like that's where all the sun like would pour in, but right now it's like that, so we're only getting sun from like one
Yeah,
little
the one
area.
window.
Yeah, and it's
This-
very
this one.
yeah. So by adding those 3, we'll get a lot more.
But one of
Sunlight.
our objectives and criteria for the board is to make sure that the exterior,
Can you put a window,
Works.
one over there to balance it, and then maybe, I mean, you have to close the blinds if you can have lights or something, but the
To
board's
have
not
just-
frowning on blank walls.
Well, I think another thing we were thinking about is we haven't,
it
so
doesn't even have to be a full window.
if we were
I
to,
don't know
so
what's
this isn't
inside.
our kitchen, so depending if we were to be able to do the expansion, we might need the wall space for,
Do you don't have a
other
plan though
items.
yet for the kitchen?
no, not yet.
That makes it difficult for you to really
You're,
understand what you need in there
you're building out this corner without
without
designing your
knowing.
kitchen?
Well, we were looking to get, we've had some like rough ideas and discussions about it, I could show you kind of like some layouts, but we haven't decided on anything because we weren't sure if we would get approval on
Oh,
the expansion.
but the interior affects the exterior
Right,
You will ultimately
Vice
get this
versa.
approved, I mean, it's not like you're allowed to expand your house, we do wanna talk about fenestration. So you really should think about, before you go spend the money building this, what are you gonna do with the new space?
right, well, I mean, having spoken with our architect, what he advised us was, you know, we wanna maintain some wall space along that corner, and if we were to redo the kitchen and put cabinetry along that corner, which is one layout that we had, but we haven't definitively,
You know, something like
You
a
know,
kitchen
moved
sink,
off.
most people like to have a kitchen sink and have a window. you
well,
know,
that's what I think we were thinking about in the 3 window area facing the backyard rather than facing the street. And then you would have, you know, other items along
But
the
even
side.
so, for instance, we don't like to have blank walls, but maybe depending on what the interior, functions are, maybe a half window or something. But I think you need to determine the inside before you just telling us, okay, we'll put a half window there, because maybe it doesn't work.
Well, I mean, I have
so-
a plan that lays out with this.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy to show you guys it. I just didn't think it was relevant for
You
this,
have it
but
with you?
apparently it is. I have it on my phone. I didn't print it out. I guess I should have in hindsight. But I mean, I could pull it up and show you guys if you'd like, if that's easy, or if I can email it to you after or something.
But also, I think
whatever's-
just for your own benefit, it would be good to know what you're putting in there rather than just build the exterior walls.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
I think regardless if we're gonna build, regardless if we go through with like the kitchen plan or not, or whatever we decide to
Could
do.
you email me?
We still do
Keep it
want
bold
that
at
space, cause right now it's
mynewcastle.org,
just like a
and I'll just go
2-person
print it.
dining
okay,
table, so
thank you.
regardless, like I would like, we've also, we're like, well, if this works, it works, otherwise we have like a dining table there. Cause it would just give us more space, 'cause right now
But
it's
your
only enough to
architect should
fit.
advise you on all those space issues.
Yeah, no,
Rather than
we
just
have,
say, add, I don't know how much in terms of square footage, I don't know what this is,
I
but-
think it's like 46 or
Uh-huh.
48 square feet, it's not a lot,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very tiny.
It's like 6 by 7
So, well,
or 7 by
you're
7.
gonna get it, it's not like the town's not gonna approve your expansion, but.
Yeah,
but we
we'll
do
get it, but we
we-
need to know.
But we don't want to approve a blank wall unless there's a really compelling reason
Well,
to
we-
have it. And
yeah.
so if you are dead set on your kitchen and you have it all laid out and those windows, any window, small window, would just absolutely not fit, it would be a problem for the function. You can document that, then that's like a hardship and maybe we consider it, but just sitting here now, I don't think we want to approve a big blank wall with no understanding of why it can't.
yeah, well,
Plus,
I can.
Having a plan will
show you
also
on this
save you
plan.
money.
No, we have a
Yeah.
plan, we just
Uh-huh.
haven't
Finalized.
finalized it, like there's some things in here that probably aren't gonna do in their interior, so I thought that would be fair.
Which house is it?
You can't, sorry, it's from Google Maps, it's on the corner, it's like under all these trees, it's here. It's, I know, it's not a helpful photo, but that's what they had,
Yeah, that's okay.
it's very tree.
So is it,
So where's the light bothering you? Where do people have headlights?
They, when you
is
come
it,
down
when you're
Main
coming down
Street,
the hill,
Yeah.
is it,
It
It's
pops
above us.
into those windows.
yeah, you're saying these
Uh-huh.
guys.
Yeah,
so when you come down from,
so when I'm sitting and eating,
No,
I'm
the top.
getting headlights.
sorry, I'm
Mhm.
spun around on this,
Here's Kisco Park, you're here.
so when you come from the top, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, that
Mhm.
way,
Going down
that's
So there's a dip.
downgrade,
Mhm.
so yeah.
So,
So,
so I
Is
guess
there
we'd like
any,
to
is
see.
there any landscape you could do to shield the
Well, we
doors,
have-
or
yeah,
or
we
any
go-
type of, maybe a small like privacy fence of some sort, or, I
There's-
don't know,
Yeah.
I just, that's,
we have some,
It's-
there are bushes and.
and it still
we
doesn't,
haven't- in the summer, it's better than in the winter,
Yeah,
obviously,
of
I mean, I'm
course.
not the biggest fan of fencing,
Yeah.
just personally, but yeah, but no, I mean, I think the bigger thought was involved with the plan, and if we could print it out, I mean, I do have it here, and I can kind of show you guys on my
Oh,
I
phone,
think
it'd be
he's-
easier.
I think
Yeah,
he's
if you-
printed.
I can,
Oh,
I
perfect.
can imagine the, when the sun goes down
Think
at
that makes
5
sense,
o'clock
too.
at night, you get a lot of flashes of headlights when everybody's driving by.
Yeah,
that-
exactly, and
No, but
that's
it doesn't,
part
it
of
doesn't
what
show
we're
us what's
needing.
happening here.
If there's
Typical
there's
window.
an overhead,
Oh, there is, the other side, okay. Oh, so this is, all right, so this is the blank wall, so to speak. the idea?
exactly, and that's the window on the right that we were looking to retain.
Okay, well. That's a lot more information. That's good.
Yeah, sorry, I should have included that.
Okay, well, I don't, I don't have a problem with it, if this is what you're gonna do. So, looks like a nice kitchen, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got a 3-party window over your sink, which is nice.
Still a pretty big blank wall there with one window, but
It is,
That's
but I
right.
can
Yeah, I
understand
know,
that.
I
from
know,
your
I know.
point of view, so.
you should put some type of shrubs here or something. 'cause
Yeah.
That would be very
We
helpful.
we
It'd
we
have
just
to
moved
be-
it in
it'd have to
September, but
be-
we're
Oh,
very
okay.
excited to
Yeah.
I'm really excited to
spring
add in a
underway.
lot of landscape.
Well, now that you
It would have
know,
to be an evergreen of some sort, so you don't,
Yeah.
the leaves don't drop and during the winter and you get hit with the lights again.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, there is a small evergreen
Yeah,
one.
you don't know
That's
those
why the
things when
last
you're looking at it
people
during the
planted
day,
it,
but when you're,
Yeah, there's a lot of things you don't know when you.
you know, you don't, you get it and you're excited.
What about the roof? Do we understand the roof?
It just follows
It
this,
just
it just
follows
follows from that, the top of the roof there, it just follows that same.
And you get the headroom, you get enough headroom. Doesn't come down, can't.
No,
No,
it
not that,
follows,
not
it
that one,
follows
the
this,
one in the
Oh,
back.
follows this one,
Follows
you're
the
going
higher-
up to the
yeah.
higher one, okay.
Yeah,
follows the higher.
I see.
yeah, they're gonna change the roof.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
it goes to that guy,
Yeah.
kind of finishes, almost seems to finish that section, that seems like,
No,
The
we
one
approve.
thing
Stuck on,
that we
yeah.
will comment and we don't because it's already existing, you don't have to do anything, but just cosmetically, to have one shutter on just one side of the window is really odd, so you should either put another shutter over here on this side. It's also on another side of the house. Isn't it? No.
I don't know. Do you have that situation around the whole house where you've got one shutter on the side of a window?
It's,
I
that's just,
think that's
No, it
because
doesn't.
these were, they're not there, but these were, it was like shutter, window,
yeah,
shutter.
that's not.
So maybe we'll take that shutter and
Just
have
take
it
the
contractor
shutter, just
put it
take
on
the
the,
shutter.
I was gonna say have it put it on the other side
Yeah,
of the window
yeah,
so
yeah.
that it.
Cause you know,
balances
that's
it.
not how
Yeah,
shutters
two of
work.
them on
Yeah.
both sides.
And it's
Yeah.
purely cosmetic, but it looks really odd when you just have one on one side with a big gap in the middle.
No, definitely.
We'll just
Yeah,
take
and
it off
even
entirely.
like-
You don't have-
Well, yeah, it just needs something or take it off.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Well, this one we can.
Yes, we can, okay.
Yeah, this
so-
one we can say something.
All right, so that is the only thing I'll note, so
So
we'll have them handwrite, yeah, you can,
Either add a shutter or take it off.
yeah, if you can.
Your choice?
I would, I prefer to
I
add
would
it, I
probably
think it
wanna
has more
add it
character.
too.
Yeah.
Well, you
Wanna
you
make it
have the
look
shutter.
cute.
You have the shutter,
Yeah,
so
we'll
you
just
just
have
add
it
it.
relocate
Yeah.
to the other window.
Can we note that down?
Yes,
Have them
could
just
you
initial
do
it?
this?
I mean, because you have,
If you wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
with a pen,
Yeah,
just
in the
note,
front.
new shutter to be added. And then initial it.
You can stamp it if you want to. No, just kidding.
I initial or?
Yes, you, please. Perfect.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thanks,
It'll take
yeah,
time.
I'm excited.
Why not? Would you like to keep
Yes.
these?
But we grew up in, we both grew up in
We actually grew up
Millwood, yeah,
Oh,
so
so
we were
you
town
know
of
the area.
Newcastle,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
our whole life,
Perfect.
so.
I'll
Back
be back.
home,
Wait, what's your last
in
Annabelle?
Vale.
Welcome to the
Mine
town.
was Milwaukee, but his is Annabelle.
Right, you have your bit?
That all?
You have it,
Yep.
yep.
That's
Great.
it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Sorry
very
for the
much.
mess.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, no worries. Good luck.
Should I leave these here?
If you want to take
Yeah.
them home, you can.
Oh.
We don't,
We don't need them?
No. Here's one more. We opened that one up pretty well.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Take care now, thank you.
Is that it, or do you have the sign for the bank?
We have the,
Wait, what is this? National Bank?
it's Bank of America,
Oh, that's a big.
but the name doesn't correlate well.
Bank of North America, that's the.
Is that like a new?
Mm, you know,
So who's this? Who's the
This is like the white.
sign chart? That you're
Hi,
the
that's me. How are you? I'm not sure why the name says that either, but it is Bank of America.
You with the sign company or the bank or?
I'm hired by the bank.
So where's this
Are you
sign?
an architect or a sign person or
No, I'm just the permit expediter.
permanent?
And if you want, I can also share my screen with what you're looking at, if
Sure,
you want it
yeah,
up on the
please.
screen.
That'd
Okay.
be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice to see white and come back and let go.
They're gonna take it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna paint it white.
I remember how mad everybody was.
Yeah. I said, oh, fade, never faded. I mean, you've kind of gotten used to it.
Oh, the other
When it
building
was
turned out
first,
really
it was
nice,
like-
you know, that building that they took, it looks really good.
So I'll just start if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, you'll, obviously you guys are aware of the building itself, you're familiar with it, but this is the
Yeah.
existing condition. Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, they had a question. Just
Yeah.
showing here the existing condition. The canopies are already existing and the signage is existing. We're just replacing it. Now, we're not looking to remove the canopies. We're just reskinning those canopies. Let me just go to the next. Oops. 1 second. Just going to work. Just because I zoomed in, it just makes it a little bit harder. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so here you can see what this canopy is going to look like. They're proposing a charcoal gray canopy as opposed to the previous red canopy, if you can call it that. It's kind of faded at this point. I know, I'm sorry, it's
Did
like
you send
a,
materials?
Say again?
Did you get any materials? No.
so it is going to be reskinning. It's going to have the branding here just in white. This is a view of the proposed signage as well. It's just internally illuminated channel letters as well as the traditional Bank of America logo.
Isn't it on the bank now?
Yeah.
What's changing?
It's a different sign. So if you look at it, it just has a
the
little
type
bit of a
is
different,
yeah.
yeah, the font is different.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
So
sign
that's,
like internally lit signs like that approved now in the town? Is that allowed? I know if it's pre-existing, but,
Internally, like a halo lit?
well, this is like, are these backlit or is this like a
They're
light, is each letter a
internally.
light box?
yeah, they're internally illuminated. So they don't have the halo around them. They're illuminated
They are.
It's a
internally.
light box. Each letter is a light box.
They are
is that-
now, aren't they?
They are now, but if they're
Yeah.
changing it, are they allowed to put something like that back up?
Yeah, this is the Chappaqua sign, you know, this is our regular sign code, which I think is permitted still on that one.
It is still.
Yeah,
Okay.
this isn't the overlays, Millwood or up at the crossings, which had some modifications.
Okay, we have to,
And the placement's the same. I mean, I think it's a
Yeah.
little longer because of the
it's nice.
the font and
yeah.
the spacing between the letter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna go show you the other angles as well. There is 3 canopies on the building, so this, again, it's just a replacement of the existing canopy. Traditional, just some white branding on that charcoal canopy. And then here is just showing the angle of the canopy above the doorway. Again, a replacement. We're not removing the actual structure. We're just reskinning it to a different color.
And is the paint white? It's not really white of the building.
The
No.
paint is going to be white. Right now, it's still the red. But
No, but on the new, I'm looking, it looks
Yes.
kind of tannish.
no, it's
It's
definitely
gonna be white.
white. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think you can see it better on this picture.
Yeah, it doesn't, do you,
Yeah, no, it
did you
looks like
pick
tan.
colors? Do you have PMS colors? Do you have the name of the paint? Do you have the name of the charcoal that is the color of the awning?
Actually, that is it. It's charcoal gray is the color of that awning.
Is that a color? Is it charcoal? It's not a color. No, seriously, it's not a color. It's just a description.
Is it pretty accurate to what we're seeing?
Yes.
Nothing's that accurate on a, you know,
Stacy, does
you're
that-
getting easy.
I mean, no, but what if she said it was PMS 1, 2, 3, 4?
Okay, but-
Would you even know? You
Well,
wouldn't
but there
know.
should be a sample cut, you know, I mean, we.
Well, even the samples, it's usually a printed piece that doesn't
Hmm.
match anything, because it's printed, you
Right, but
know.
that doesn't look,
back
so is
there.
it white, is it ochre, is it got yellow in it, is it got pink in it, well, you know, there's 1,000 whites.
Yeah.
What,
Well, I
what
mean-
white is it? Have you picked the white paint?
Well, I think right now the painting got the okay for the planning board to move forward. So I think we're only proposing right now the signage and the
Right.
canopy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let me see if I have any other specifications for a specific.
And what is the awning material that you're wrapping it with?
Final.
Is it vinyl?
Let me just
Oh,
see.
graphics material is vinyl. So it's-
Reskin awning from material that match charcoal gray. So is it vinyl? Is it fabric? Is it canvas? Is it, what is it?
It's not really reskinning, is it? Isn't
I
it just
don't-
replacing? How do you reskin it?
Well, you're keeping the original
Metal frame.
frame.
Yeah, that's, yeah,
And
exactly.
you just
Yeah.
put
So
the
it's new
fabric on it.
fabric.
Is that what you're doing? You're removing and keeping just the frame?
Yes, the frame is staying. We're just removing the existing material and just replacing it. It should be with the same exact material because the bank always uses the same vendor. So I'm just trying to see if I have specifications in this, in the
Mhm.
package.
Does that exist?
It's really good practice to be approving stuff.
Does that
without-
existing sign have a raised?
Most of the
Especially
time-
something this important. that
I
people
know,
gonna
but
yell in the
most of the
community.
time,
What
especially
happens
with
is I don't see
Zooms, we
these
don't
until
get
after.
material.
Okay, well, then we can reject it and tell them
I've
to
had
send
no
in
time with
information.
these plans.
This is very visible.
So you're
you
raising
know,
questions,
You're
and I
gonna
have
own
to
it.
verify it again. But this is
I
in front
don't-
of the planning board.
Yeah.
This already went to the planning board?
This is
The
in front of the
color.
planning board.
Yeah.
The whole project is.
Oh.
They have jurisdiction on this project.
Oh, And they have approved everything
They're sending it to your board to approve.
for
the-
referral.
For
Is that
referral.
what it is, a referral?
Uh-huh.
Yes, your
Just for
referral
the
for the signage and the awning color.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see in here that they're specifying the exact color number of the awning. I did look through each page. I don't see that in here.
And what about the material of the wrapper of the awning? Is it fabric, is it vinyl, is it plastic, is it metal?
It's a fabric. I believe it's Suncast. I'm just looking for it.
So I do think that, going back to the planning board, we should say we've gotten information that doesn't tell us the material, doesn't tell us the real color. Well, you know, it's,
Do you
we can say it looks fine, but it would be nice to know what the material and what the real color is.
Would you want the applicant to come back and verify that in 2 weeks?
No, I think I trust the planning. If the planning board's taking jurisdiction, I think we can say to the planning board, we looked at it, we generally, it looks okay, but, somebody should understand what the material is and what the true color is, because charcoal gray is not really a color, it's a description.
So, sorry, just wanted to chime in for 1 second. So now the planning board already gave us their approval. They told us that you approve the awning and the signage, not that we have to go back to them to gain approval or with your referral. So we were told that after we get your approval, then we go to building permitting. So we don't have to go back to the planning board because they've already approved their portion of it, which is they approved the lighting because there's another project for exterior lighting. And then also they said we can go ahead and proceed with the painting.
Can I ask you what material,
You can't find it on here, she said. It's not on here.
It's not on there. So I don't wanna, I
Okay,
don't
so
wanna
we want to
approve it.
approve it.
It's a visible
So
project.
can
in the
you
town.
send Tom, how about she sends a PMS color for the charcoal gray and then a fabric sample?
Did you hear that?
And
The
then like a
number
paint
for the
chip of
gray.
color.
So are you
And,
saying?
Send the number of the color
Mhm.
and we need a fabric sample.
Okay. Now, are you asking for an actual chip, like mail you an actual chip to
Well, if
hold
you-
and
Yes.
an actual
She's gonna
fabric
mail the
sample to
fabric,
hold?
then
Yeah,
she
we
can
should get a
mail
paint,
the chip.
right, and not just a PMS color, but also a sample piece, yes, a physical piece. And a physical piece of the material of the awning. Yeah, I don't wanna approve something in town this visible without really knowing what we're getting.
How
So-
did the orange get by?
They just did it.
That's before my time. Come on.
They just did it, everybody got upset with that,
Yeah.
you know.
You don't need permission to paint.
I didn't think so.
So, these things happen sometimes over a weekend. So now that's why the planning board has jurisdiction, so it looks
Got
at
it.
the package.
Got it.
So the applicant will come back in 2 weeks and we'll review the sample?
Yeah.
All right.
A couple questions, like the logos on the awnings, what are is that printed onto the fabric?
Yes.
So it's just a
No, I thought it said it was vinyl.
Is it stick-on vinyl letters, what is it?
I actually just found the material and the graphic. It's a graphic that's on the canopy. Can you see my screen still?
It's cut off. Or what do you want us to look at?
We can see your screen if you can put something else up, sure.
you just.
You know what? I think I need to stop share and then reshare. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it
Alright.
froze for a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Second.
Do you remember if that
Okay.
the original Bank of America sign has a raceway behind it? I can't remember when I drive,
Let
and
me
I
know
can't
if this
tell by the picture's too small to.
Okay, this is helpful. Let's
Does
see.
this work? Can you see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, good, perfect. All right, so it is Cooley Weather Tight Plus. The charcoal is WT 74 CHRD. I mean,
There you go.
it's
Yeah,
here. I
that's
just don't know if you can see it or you want me to zoom in.
No, I see
It
it.
seems small on my end.
What is Cody Weather Tight? Plus?
Actually, let me scroll to the
It's
right.
probably like a sunbrella type
Um,
fabric.
It's a stretched awning material, so they did provide the existing aluminum square tube. It's already existing. This is the fabric. It's the stretched awning material.
Is it a fabric as opposed to a plastic or a vinyl?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I can also, there's different views, so I can do that too, because there's different awnings. Oops, not that one. Not sure.
These are clearer.
Yeah, they're a little clearer, so sorry. How about I just start from the beginning and just go through it with you? Again, this is the existing, which you already.
Yeah.
Your sign has a backer behind it, so it is pushed out.
It looks like it's
Yeah.
Here.
already on the right
The awning disguises it well.
This is just a view of the proposed canopy and the signage, but it is definitely clearer than the other image, so this is obviously just a little bit better. You just let me know when I should go to the next page.
You can go to the next page.
Okay. This is the signage. Also, just a much better view of the actual signage. So now they're just showing this so you can see it, but it's going to match the building just like you
There's
saw
a
in the other
raceway
image.
paint to match wall.
Yeah, that's just so you can mount the actual letters. But that's just for, you just, again, let me know when I can go to the next page.
Okay, you guys good?
Yeah.
This was the one I had already showed you, so I'll just go to the next one. This one is showing it above the door. But again, it's the same. See, they're showing the graphic
So
text. They
now
have
you're
to
okay.
give the,
How do you know that chuckles?
Well, so yeah, so the only thing no, you're right, you're absolutely right. I would like a note somewhere that this is a fabric as opposed to a vinyl. You know, it has different
Yeah.
sheens, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't know what COLI Weather Type Plus is. It's, you gave me the right information, so I can't say, but I don't know what it is. So if you can, you know, commit to, and if we can note that this is a fabric material, CODI, you know, as opposed to like a vinyl or plastic, then I'm good.
And you're okay with the color, even though this may not be the accurate color? Because it's on a screen?
Can you look it up?
No, I can't find it.
Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yep.
So this is what would
I'm
be
not looking at the
attached to the
Well, no,
to
but
the
I'm
awning
just saying, if
itself.
you're no, charcoal's charcoal.
So it's
Or-
showing the
No,
graphics
why are you
text is
approving that?
white.
You know.
Yeah.
Homicell, let's just say that. Yeah, and they are showing that as well.
And it's
So I'll get a sample.
it's somehow attached to the fabric.
Yeah, I
It's
cannot
screwed.
find
It's
this.
screwed.
Assembled letters on awning, so these are raised letters on the
Yeah.
awning?
That's what they have now.
Cody Weather.
Yeah.
I could zoom in.
Weather
More.
lights.
Yeah, I think overall it's those red awnings are.
Well, certainly a dramatic improvement just painting it white. Like I said, the other building, that the Chapco building looks really nice.
Yes,
Really
the
came out
black
nice.
and white looks nice. So do you want the applicant to come back in 2 weeks with a sample?
Yeah, I think we should get a grant.
I actually,
Just send it in. So-
Weather.
I'm just gonna stop sharing and reshare my screen.
Yep.
Just one more time, because I Googled it.
How come it's not coming up for me?
Well, I think so it's showing here that it's no longer available, but it's most likely, there's probably like a residential and a commercial aspect of it. But this is the sample of the Weather Type Plus, right here.
So I tell you why I'm okay, because it's identified. Is it gonna look like exactly this gray or a little off shade gray because we don't see it? Yes, it may be different, but it's in the same family. I obviously don't have jurisdiction to pick the gray they're gonna use. I just wanna make sure it's not gonna be something dramatically different or completely
Okay,
unidentified.
but that's kind of what I was seeing,
Yeah.
so that before.
So
this
which,
is what I
so
understood
which is a
before,
light
so-
gray box? Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
scroll over it, see how it zooms in, so you can,
The fabric.
It's
is-
just-
yeah, you can see it.
Texture,
Yeah.
it's got the texture.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
think it gives a nice representation of the color too.
Okay.
All right, so then they are approved.
I'm okay.
Yes.
You okay?
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for your time, and thanks for the
Uh-huh.
Zoom. It's really helpful, I have to say.
Okay, there's two different sets, may I have those? There are two different building permits going on. One of them was lighting, And one of them was orange.
Oh, wait, for the next house, for this addition?
Well, no, there was, the
Oh.
bank had two projects in
Oh,
front
I
of
see,
it.
yeah.
So now we're looking
B&W
at
architecture.
33 Ludlow Drive.
Is that it for the bank?
That's it for the bank,
Oh,
you
okay.
got, you know, double header right now. Here's 33 Ludlow Drive.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen as well. Okay.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, you can please begin if you're ready.
Okay, my name is Frank Tancredi. I'm the architect for Marianne and Brian Santee, who are with us tonight. At least I know Marianne is. And what we're proposing to do is, the Santees are planning to renovate their kitchen, and it's in the back of the house. And if you look on the site plan, you'll see the shaded area here. That would be the area of a porch with covered roof porch, an open porch that they wish to merge into their current kitchen. So if you look here on the floor plan, the partial floor plan, you can see, you know, the existing kitchen is here. And what's going to happen, what's being proposed is that the kitchen would merge with the current dining room to become one larger kitchen with a big island for the family to sit at. And this this wall here would move out to absorb the porch about 5 foot 8 inches.
Frank, excuse me, we don't have the plans you're showing. We just have
Some
elevations.
Well, you should have it.
Looks like existing
Everything was submitted.
elevations.
Which elevations do you have?
We have a set of existing elevations.
Well, I don't see how you don't have these plans.
We just have pages 8 and 9.
That was submitted as reference plan for, you know, the existing
Let me go look at Daisy's.
existing elevation.
Can you hang on?
Just
We're
one
gonna
moment.
go check the files.
Yeah.
In back to see if maybe something didn't get brought to the
Okay.
conference room.
Existing. I was looking for the changes. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, no, okay, you scared me there for a second.
He might still scare you. He's looking. He doesn't.
That's okay. I've been there. I've been down that road. I'm looking for the files that
So it seems to be a pretty small little
it's a
bump
small,
out
it's
there.
a small addition off the back, but you know,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes simple is hard to do, but that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So these-
It looks like it's just underneath that
Mhm.
little.
Okay, so you have these elevations, correct?
That's the only thing
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
Have,
Yeah, these were done previous owners or several owners ago. Back in 2000, came before your board. You know, this is, you know, the front. This is, you know, the north side. What we're doing is on the back, and the side here. This area right here, this open porch. That's what was shaded in my drawing in this
You don't
elevation.
have it? Hmm.
All right, we don't have them, so why don't we continue? But you're going to need to send it into the town.
Do you want me to drive something over? I can like, is that helpful?
I don't.
Really?
Why don't you just show us?
Why don't we keep?
layout?
Why don't we
It's a
keep
pretty
going?
simple,
Let's. Why don't we keep going? Let's see how.
All right,
simple
let's
it is.
let's just look at the photos. Work off these photos.
Yeah.
You got the front, the left side. Nothing's happening on either of those sides. This would be the, you know, the back of the house. It's very hard. I know you're talking about with other applicants about elevations and views. it's very difficult to see this in a full elevation like a drawing. I couldn't even get the photograph of, the full broad side of the house, with the way with just the angle of the house to the property line with all the vegetation and trees. So, this is actually how you see it by my camera. This is how you would come. You would come from the front and approach the back of the house. This is a door that leads right directly into the kitchen. The stove is in between this window and this door. And this is where this back picture here is where the kitchen sink is. And what we're proposing to do is put in a taller window where the new sink is going to be, in the same location, but new sink, all new cabinetry. But leave this is a double hung window. It's kind of awkward. And these sight lines, these double hung, very heavy in, the horizontal line. What's not shown in this picture is a nice little water feature that's built into this wall. It's quite nice to look at when you're at the sink looking out. So we propose to make this a fixed picture window, no grills, with flanking casement windows, again, to eliminate this heavy sash line, which is at eyesight and blocks your view, but you still have the muntins. So fairly look the same as the double hungs, but be casement windows. This would be a picture window. In building out this door would be the same French door as what's in this photo here. I don't know if I have a better picture than that, but it's tough to get them.
I mean, I could literally show you on Zoom.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
But let's
Well,
let
no,
me
it's
just
okay.
go.
You want to just go to, why don't you just go to the
So I got it
elevation?
here. So here.
Just go to the new
There you go.
elevations.
So here's my back elevation. Again, this would be the picture window, flanking casement windows now, which eliminate that heavy horizontal line, so Marianne can look out the window without.
They were making taller windows.
They're going to be taller because the current windows now they're going to be 4 inches taller. The current windows, we want to afford more to the yard. It's very pretty to look at.
Is this
But
drawing,
are these indicating
is this
taller
the scale,
windows?
is this correct?
It's correct. Here's the dotted
Oh,
line
there?
where you see the old windows. See it?
Oh, okay.
So we'd be redoing the brickwork here, and then infilling this porch, extending the brickwork, wrapping it around, putting new French doors in to go into the kitchen here. These are the existing French doors that were in the dining room, but now it'll be into the kitchen, so they match up and get some more light in. Right now you got a door with some glass and some side lights, but now you'd have more glass in the doors. And the brick would again match what's there. Not too worried about matching the brick
interior of the kitchen.
color. It's going to be painted.
Can you show us?
On the inside, you see what's happening here. We have all our cabinetry on this rear wall and on the side wall where the stove would be and vent out. Still maintaining the roof, keeping the roof structure the way it is. No work to be done on that. Existing shingles to remain. That's basically it. It's very, very straightforward. Just taking, if you look in the foundation plan, you'll see this 5'8" space. That's the increase. The porch is not being really utilized. Right now, they just keep, like cushions under there from not getting wet in the rain. They don't use it to sit out on.
You don't want to have any, wait, so on the fixed window, the whole window's fixed, the side, even the side?
No, they're on it.
No,
Oh, those are
currently
on.
you
Oh,
have
'cause you-
2 smaller double hung
You just
windows
don't want the
flanking
double
a
hung window.
double
Okay.
hung
Okay.
middle window.
All right, because you definitely want some more ventilation, so you would want those to work.
I don't need this one to work.
No, I understand the middle one, but the side ones are working.
Yeah, these work. These
Yeah,
are, these
okay.
are crank outs. Actually, you can't even. You have to lean over to do the double hungs. It's very
Yeah, I
hard to
know, but
open.
sometimes, especially in a kitchen, you want some ventilation.
Yeah, so those are
There's
operable.
smoke.
Those doors have no cover now? So the door on the side now, does that just, there's no cover when you're outside? You open the
No,
door,
no,
you
it's the same as this door back here. It's not, it's not
Uh-huh.
needed.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're not proposing to build anything there. Because then it would infringe on the porch, on the patio, and the
Yeah.
furnishings. We don't
Okay.
want to infringe on that.
Seems like a pretty
Yeah.
simple.
You'll,
Alright,
you'll
so-
still have to get the plans in.
Yeah, I need the plans, Frank, please.
Well, I don't know, what don't you have? I mean, we submitted the
I
whole
may
package.
have not a set, I need 2 sets, please, one 11 by 17 and one full size.
Yeah, we submitted.
I believe you, but somehow they didn't make the file or they're somewhere else.
Hopefully they're not in that box. Okay, so
You got the hard part, so just give me some details.
we got the hard part. So you need a full size and a half, 11 by 17.
Yes, sir, please.
All right.
You just send that to Daisy, right?
I'll,
Please, God, deliver them.
could I,
He's got.
before I do that, I would just call Daisy to see if they're on a table somewhere.
Sounds like a great idea. She's in on Friday.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll double check with her again. I did connect with her a few times prior to this meeting to ensure that she has everything, and she confirmed that she has everything electronically and hard copy. So I can check with her again.
Yeah.
Perfect. It'll be easy.
It's
Thank you.
probably just sitting on someone's desk, on the back. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You
Take care,
too.
Frank.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Mary Ann, bye.
Thanks, Frank.
That was the last.